Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trek Canon. So, I'm gonna tell you guys a little tidbit before I start with the review of episode of season one of Lord Dex. So, I go ahead and I do the whole video, right? And it asks me if I want to save or what, and I accidentally hit delete. So, here we go again. Let's do this. Luckily, I have all my talking points, so I won't do my normal ums too much. I'll try to reduce that by a good 50%. So let's talk about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 1. That's all why we're here, to see what happened, what I thought about it, and what you thought about it. So overall, I'm going to have to say that it was a pretty good season of Star Trek, a great addition to the Star Trek franchise. It's a long cry from the first episode to the end, but that's usually how it goes with the Next Generation, with Voyager, with Deep Space Nine. The first seasons of Star Trek, and even with the original series, the first seasons of Star Trek usually aren't received well. But I think with any good sci-fi, in hindsight, things that make you think they're received better later once you've had time to digest them. So let's begin with the story arc of Mariner. Mariner, I thought, had the greatest story arc. When the show first started, I didn't think that she should have been in Starfleet. I didn't think that she was a great representation of what I had historically known to be a Starfleet officer. But we got to understand why she behaved the way she did, the friendships that she made, the tight bonds that she had with people not only on the ship, but throughout Starfleet and throughout the Federation itself, the contributions that she had made, and why she decided to behave the way she did. So I thought that from beginning to the end, I understood Mariner a lot better, and I thought that she was uh, a very great addition to this particular series for what they were trying to do. Um, I really enjoyed her. On the 180 side of that, not downplaying Bomer, I also thought that he was a great addition to I guess be her counterbalance. So her yin to his yang, I should say. But what I thought Bomer represented was the model Starfleet officer, what normal Trekkies would normally contribute to a Starfleet officer historically, from say the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager, and so forth. He had the optimism and joy for the job as say an instant Harry Kim would. Okay, he was loyal. He was a good friend. Now, by the end of the season, episode 10, I think he did Mariner kind of bogus. I'm trying not to give up any spoilers. I think he kind of did her bogus, but um, I think that he knew that being on the ship with in that particular situation, he wouldn't have the opportunity to shine as much as he would being on another ship. So I kind of understood his reason. So Um, so her story arc was great, and like I said, on the flip side, Bulma's story arc it kept us grounded in what Starfleet was. Okay, I'm gonna have to say in retrospect of the series, it kept us having the ability to say, hey, this here is what a Starfleet officer is normally supposed to do. How are they supposed to behave? This is how a Starfleet officer should conduct themselves, in contrast to the antics that Mariner is pulling off. It was a comedic series for Star Trek. I thought it did well. It hit a lot of the marks that it tried to hit. It had me laughing. It had the people who was watching with me laughing. Some of the other times, some of the jokes fell flat. But that's in taste. That's with all art. So I'm pretty sure there are other people who found the jokes that fell flat with me funny, and the jokes that I thought was funny flat. So it's all a matter of taste. So in that vein, Tindy and Robertson, I thought rounded out the um, the quad well. So Tindy, they still never really explained why she was able to exist and serve on a Starfleet vessel without affecting the humans and the males on board with her Orion pheromones. I hope they get into that in season two. Um, the engineer guy Robertson, he always had me laughing. He to me he was the comedy of the team. To me, he was the comedy of the team, and I loved I loved his desire and his fondness, of his field. That is something that really was something awesome to me. So the relationship with Mariner and her mother, I thought went well. They handled that very good, from beginning to end. How their relationship was so tumultuous at first and ended up becoming, the mother and daughter respect with the rank involved. Still, that was awesome. So overall, like I said, Star Trek Lower Decks season one, I think, was a great addition to the Star Trek franchise. And in retrospect, with just like with all Star Trek, as it should have you do, in thinking about how it was set up, how the stories were arranged, the fact that they based this series off something that you normally wouldn't really think of, but if you're a true Trekkie, you wonder, hey, whatever happens to these civilizations that Kirk visits and change, just kind of, bypass the prime directive or influence in ways that our world, our global, I'm glad that they touched on that on, in the final episode of this. I'm not gonna give away spoilers, but another great example would be from the original series, uh, a piece of the action. I would have loved for them to revisit the planet that a piece of the action was on to see how Kirk's impact with that civilization, or I should say, the Starfleet's re-impact of that civilization happened. What was the conclusion to that? So, the premise of having them go back, being second contact, hang, doing the diplomacy, the paperwork, and figuring out the ins and outs, the things that say the SG1 team, doesn't do. That was a great premise for this Star Trek series, and I'm looking forward to season two. So, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, ring the bell to receive future alerts. I'm gonna try to see if I can drop the discovery video for season three, episode one today. But I got a lot of good things to say about that, and I have some bad things to say about that, and see how it fits into canon as always. So thank you for joining me, and please comment. Let me know what you thought about season one. Let's start a conversation. Let's handle it like true Trekkies. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and peace and recycle.